Okay, well, good morning, everybody. My name is Sandy Carter, and I am the Chief Operating Officer of Unstoppable Domains. And I'm going to talk to you today about Web3 in 2020, talking about AI agents, digital identity, and the decentralized economy. I also have 2 copies of my book to give away today. AI First, Human Always. It talks about why AI needs blockchain. So if you ask me a question at the end, you'll get 1 copy of those books. So if we go ahead and get started, if you think about the way I'm going to present today, it's going to be guided by my favorite quote, which is, tell me the facts and I'll believe, but if you tell me a story, it'll live in my heart forever. So today I will be chatting about some facts of where the direction is going by 2030, but more importantly, I'll be telling you stories that you'll be able to take with you as well. I'll also show you some of the new AI org charts that I think are going to happen in our decentralized world and every world that exists today, and I'll end up with a different framework that we can talk about. So I've been interested in deep technology for quite a while. In fact, I wanted to be an astronaut when I grew up. Anybody else want to be an astronaut? Maybe 1 or 2 people, wow. So what I did get to do instead of being an astronaut is when I worked at Amazon Web Services, I did get to help put rover on Mars using AI technology. This is a picture of my family with the picture that we brought back from rover of Mars. So I didn't get to the moon, but I got to Mars in a way. But it just shows my love of advanced technology and what's happening today. So what I'd like to talk about today is if we stepped into 2030, what does that new world look like? Now, a lot of the pieces are here today, but they're not widespread, and they're not ready for mass adoption. So as we go through it, think about how we could change some of the things we're doing so that everybody, including my grandmother, could adopt some of these different areas. I believe that AI and Web3 are going to transform every single piece of our world. We're already seeing it today. And in fact, if you look at the McKinsey study, McKinsey says the combination of blockchain and AI will add 13 trillion, that's with a T, dollars to the GDP by 2030. $13 trillion. So you all are in the right industry for sure, because it is really rapidly growing. And if we just take a sneak peek into some of those different areas, let's just consider life in 2030. So life in 2030 is you could log into any app or any platform with a single blockchain or on-chain domain. I use Unstoppable here because that's who I work for. So today you have multiple passwords. In the future, you'll have 1 way to log in. Once you log in, you'll have an AI agent. And what is an AI agent? An AI agent is an autonomous piece of code that can make decisions on its own. It will have its own crypto wallet with it. It will negotiate on our behalf, sign contracts. It will execute not with a human in the loop, but with no human in the loop. And finally, that real-world asset will be the way that you obtain ownership rights. RWAs will be the norm, and you can tokenize art and property and even your own identity. Now, you may sit up there and look at that and say, I can do all those pieces today. You can do all these pieces today, and I'll show you how different elements are being done, but you can't do this today in an automated fashion, in an easy-to-use fashion. And I guarantee you, my grandmother definitely could not do this today. So let's talk about some of the things that are happening that give us real-world signals that this is about to happen by 2030. Because 2030 is only 4.5 years away, right? So let's take a look. One of my favorite examples is healthcare. I don't know if you know this or not, but in the United States, they are creating LLMs, or large language models, for babies that are born out of a certain hospital. So not everywhere, just in particular areas. What are those LLMs going to do? Well, those large language models will travel with you throughout your life. So you'll be able to have personalized medications, personalized treatments, personalized procedures based on that LLM. This is happening today in the United States, approved by what we call our FDA, but only in specific situations, so not really broadly today. If you look at my company, oops, hang on one second, flip too fast, go back here. There we go. If you look at my company, Unstoppable Domains, we're actually using AI agents today to manage our customer support. So we have 4.5 million digital identities or customers out there today, and they need individualized customer support 24/7. So we now have customer support agents, an AI agent that answers questions. In fact, it now answers 32% of our questions. And since we've added the agent to our homepage, our customer sat has actually gone up by 10%. And then the last example, one that I really love, is this AROC VC. Have you guys heard about AROC? So we all struggle to get funding. Unstoppable just got our unicorn raise, so we're real excited. But now there is an AI agent that exists on-chain, on the blockchain. It's called AROC. It's one of the most successful VCs. It's investing on its own, autonomously, deciding which companies can pitch to it, which companies it will invest in. And so far, the first half of 2025 has been one of the most successful VCs that exist today. So we see signs of all these things that I'm predicting will happen by 2030 actually having the potential to occur. So now let's look at one of the big things that we need to look at for progressing further, especially with the technologies of blockchain and AI. I wasn't able to find data on blockchain, but I found this report from the Edelman Trust Barometer on how much people trust AI today. And you know, trust is important, right? I mean, part of the reason we come to these conferences today is to get to know each other, to play poker together like we did last night, to build a relationship. A relationship is built on trust. The same thing is true for artificial intelligence. You need your customers, your users, to trust that what's happening is correct. So here you see by country. And hopefully one of the things you see right away is at the top, India, China, Mexico, the emerging markets, their consumers or their users have high trust in AI. And then if you look at the bottom of the slide, you'll notice something else very interesting. Maturing markets are lower trust in AI. Germany, the United States, Japan. Look at the United States. Only a third of people trust what comes out of artificial intelligence. And then you look at the middle. I just did a roadshow in Latin America. Brazil, Chile, Argentina. They're like on that borderline right now of trusting AI. This is going to be really important that people learn to trust AI if we're going to make progress in the AI thread by 2030. Oops, go back, sorry. So none of the videos are working on this presentation. That's going to be a problem, I think, here very shortly. So this actually, if you could see the video, this is CrowdGen AI. CrowdGen AI has started to deal with some of the trust factors of AI using blockchain. So the video actually goes back and forth, and what it does is it provides an invisible watermark. And this invisible watermark actually makes this picture not scannable, not readable by AI. So AI can't steal your information or your picture in this case. It also is available for websites, so protecting people scraping your website now. And if you're an artist or a creator, this can also help the trust factor, because what this does with the individual watermark is also gives you the capability now, if somebody wants to use this picture, for you to fractionalize the ownership of this particular picture. So this is one example of how blockchain and AI, I believe, will pair together to increase trust that needs to be out there today. This is a picture as well of trust in your digital identity. So you know today, if you have a .com, that's really an identity for a company. If you use LinkedIn, that tends to be your profile. But do you know how much misinformation is on LinkedIn today? What percentage would you guys say? Any guesses? 30% of data on LinkedIn today is not correct. So if you go to look at someone's school, where they graduated from, 1 in 3 times that data will be incorrect. And in here, oops, you can't see it because the animation is not there, but you could see here, if you start at the collectibles line, you can see here you can have your driver's license. You can also see that you're a member of maybe the Austin Chamber of Commerce, or that you're leasing an apartment, or that you went to an event. So this is through a partnership with the city of Austin, Texas, one of the cities that host one of the largest IT conferences in the world. They are now building out a profile that uses AI to help recommend different things to you, but everything is built on-chain or on the blockchain. So for my book, I did a lot of research. I interviewed 454 companies and did a survey of 1,500 companies. And this is some of the information that came out of there in terms of how do you build trust. Trust is built on transparency, meaning that you've got you understand how the answer was achieved. You don't have a black box. It's also about reliability, meaning that if you put something through for an audit, you get the same answer again. And security. And then, of course, bias. So I wanted to show you this picture here. When I worked at IBM, I got to help train Watson, one of our large language models at IBM at the time, and still is today. And we trained Watson on 52,000 romance novels. Now, 52,000 romance novels. And then we fed in this picture. So the bias that we had programmed in was romance novels. So when it saw these two sumo wrestlers, the narrative it produced was a romance, not a narrative around sumo wrestling. So this is how bias can occur and what you have to eliminate in that trust equation. So now let's look at how Web3 and AI is going to revolutionize the workforce by 2030. And I want to show you some real-world examples here. But first, I'll start with a World Economic Report, which shows that AI will eliminate about 92 million jobs through automation, but it will produce about 170 million new jobs. But I want to focus on that area in the middle, which is about 1 billion jobs that will be supplemented by AI. I've been working with companies who have been looking at the new org chart. So let's take a look at that if we can. So this is what the org chart of the future looks like, the org chart for 2030. And I'm hoping my animation will work on this one. Because what you can see is that you have humans here at the top that are still in management positions. By the way, this is a real org chart for a Fortune 50 company today that we're supplementing their workforce with AI agents. So the new manager of the future is now managing people and AI agents. So you can see these people here. This whole function is marketing, one of the first places this company started. And you can see they have the typical managers, brand management, content management, and then they've got people working for them doing normal jobs, product marketing, product management, probably people that you have on your teams today too. But what we've added to them, which I think is quite unique, is a set of agents. I love Star Wars, so you can see I name my agents after Star Wars characters. So here you can see Darth GPT is a landing page optimizer. It's not just a tool, it's actually a teammate. In fact, members of these teams will refer to, I'm working with Darth today. Not a tool, but an actual teammate. You can see over here too, you have R2D2. R2D2 is looking at content ideas and generating new topics. Again, as a teammate, not just as a tool. So this will be what the new organization looks like. It's already starting to happen today, and it's changing the question from how do I use AI to just speed up my current job to what does my role become in the new world. And you can see this AI leadership ladder. We all started with ChatGPT. I know the last session was on confidential computing, and he asked, how many of you using chat today? Moving up to reasoning with autonomous tasks, to an agent that then executes, to innovators, and all the way up to someone who's going to look at coordinating across an organization. And so really what you're going to be looking at is how your role changes now that you have these AI teammates involved in it. In fact, one of the challenges I've given my team at Unstoppable is every single employee will have at least one AI teammate working for them by end of the year. So here you see for my growth marketing director, she will not just manage campaigns anymore or analyze the data, but she's going to orchestrate across these AI agents and train those agents on real-time insights. So this is kind of what we've been talking about. You'll be able to, by 2030, to log in to all apps. You'll be able to use these AI agents to do autonomous work for you, and you'll be able to digitize and then store real-time assets like real estate or identity. But I want to dive a little deeper on that AI agent topic. If you look at AI agents, when I was trained as a business leader to look at B2B or B2C. But in the future, we're going to be looking at agent to agent, business to agent, or person to agent. Now, I'm a visual learner, so let me show you what this looks like today. So this is planning a vacation. This is why I always get my husband to do it, because it's a lot of work, right? You have to look at your flight, what airline, what class of service, what times, how many stops. You have to look at your hotels. Did you check out the reviews? What about restaurants? Last night we went to this amazing restaurant, Bobo, that was rated one of the top restaurants in Cannes. So you have to look at all of this stuff, and it takes a lot of time. You're doing this today as a person. But in the future, I will have my own AI agent. And my own AI agent will be trained on my preferences, the type of food I like, what I like to do. And it will speak to a flight agent. And that flight agent will then decide which airline I book. My hotel agent will now talk to other business agents. So it'll be agent to agent or business to agent booking this whole facility for me. Now what I'd like, oh good. So I wanted to show you how easy it is to build an agent. So I built an agent for you today. I just videoed it so you could see it. I'm using a platform called AI Explain. After this conference, we're going to get tons of WhatsApps and Telegrams. So I wanted to automate booking all those meetings with all of you guys after this conference. So in real world English, I'm asking this tool to build me an agent. It's asking if I have these APIs on my computer. I don't know if I do or not. So if it's missing, it says, hey, I'll just create it for you. Now it's taking a test message I have in WhatsApp, and it's listening to that message. It's going to decide, do I book that meeting on Sandy's calendar or not? It's going to ask me if there's a conflict, what I want to do. And then you can see right there at 4 p.m., somebody asked me if they wanted to go shopping on Saturday. So if anybody wants me to go shopping, I'm definitely up for it. So this is how easy it is to do. I even built an agent for my book because you have to have pins down after 9 months. So I tried 17 different platforms to build this agent for my book. Anybody who buys the book gets the agent as well. And then one of the also things that we're doing is we now already have AI agents who own wallets, and we've built a digital identity for them. It's called .twin. So these agents that hold wallets actually have their own identity. What are these agents doing? They're bank tellers. They're customer return experts. They're risk analysis. They're doing growth marketing, already managing their own crypto wallet today. So this is where I wanted to really end with you guys, is this is what I think the new world will look like in 2030. I showed you we already have the tech to do all these pieces today, to log in with a digital identity, to use agents, and to even store those digital assets like driver's license, birth certificates, even your school. So here you see the full loop. Everything's possible today, but it's not easy enough for everybody. So what I believe is the future is not agent-led or human-led. I think it's going to be both. I think it's going to be a combination of AI plus blockchain plus humans. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you for the presentation. I was just wondering what needs to be done for the mass adoption to start taking place. What the steps for that?
So one of the first things is that for mass adoption, you need things to be easier to use. So an agent going to get your crypto wallet is pretty easy, but my grandmother going to get her crypto wallet today and using an exchange to fill it is hard. So we need to work on the overall ease of use. And for AI, we need to work on the trust factor. A lot of people don't trust AI. Can you give him a book, Todd? Raise your hand. Okay, and one more question. Yes, sir. Thank you guys for attending. I do really appreciate it. If you want to get in touch with me, my Telegram is simply Sandy Carter, all one word, Sandy Carter.
Yeah, I was
Go ahead.
just wondering more about the privacy and security side, because you said you use 17 different apps to try to create an AI agent. That surely had a large impact on your actual, attack surface, right? And for every person, it's going to be a bunch of different little semi-supported, probably eventually bankrupt tools that had large access to a lot of their services. So how do you view that part?
So I believe that the security and privacy will be driven by blockchain and protected by blockchain. Decentralized AI, like the presentation before me, we believe very strongly is the way of the future. And I think it's why it's getting more VC funding today, even from AROC than others. Thank you guys for your time. I'm so sorry. Thank you.